Is the era of the surgeon finally coming to an end? For decades, millions of Americans have turned to invasive bariatric procedures like the gastric sleeve and gastric bypass to fight obesity, but a massive shift is currently rocking the foundations of our medical system. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics and the systemic changes affecting your life, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you don't miss our daily updates. The news is clear: the rise of GLP-1 agonists, drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Zepbound's taking a massive bite out of the bariatric surgery market. Recent data confirms a significant decline in the number of people opting for surgical interventions. When you look at the landscape of American healthcare, this is a seismic shift. For years, if you were struggling with clinically significant obesity, the gold standard for long-term weight loss was surgery. It was a billion-dollar industry that supported countless hospital departments and surgical teams across the country. Now, patients are choosing to skip the hospital stay, the anesthesia, and the grueling recovery process in favor of a weekly injection. But what does this actually mean for the broader political and economic landscape of the United States? First, we have to look at the hospitals. Many medical centers have built their financial models around these high-volume surgical procedures. If that volume continues to plummet, we are looking at a massive revenue gap for hospitals that are already struggling to keep their doors open in rural and underserved areas. This isn't just about medicine, it's about the infrastructure of American healthcare. If the revenue from these elective, high-cost surgeries disappears, how will hospitals fund the other critical, life-saving services that don't generate as much profit? Then, there is the pharmaceutical angle. We are moving toward a reality where a massive percentage of the population might be on these medications for a significant portion of their lives. This gives pharmaceutical companies unprecedented leverage over our national health policy and public spending. When the government discusses healthcare budgets, Medicare coverage, and the cost of these drugs, the political pressure is going to be immense. Are we trading a surgical solution for a lifetime of subscription-based chemical reliance? That is the question that policymakers are currently tiptoeing around, yet it remains the elephant in the room. Furthermore, consider the insurance side of the equation. Insurance companies are already feeling the strain of the high cost of these drugs. As more Americans demand access to these treatments, the debate over who pays for them, the individual, the employer, or the taxpayer, is going to become one of the most contentious issues in Washington. We are watching the collision of innovation and regulation in real time. The surgical community is rightfully concerned about what this means for their specialty, while patients are celebrating the ease of a medical alternative to the knife. However, we cannot ignore the long-term data gaps. We are effectively in the middle of a massive national experiment. While the immediate results are undeniably effective for weight loss, we are still waiting to see the multi-decade implications of widespread GLP-1 usage. The transition away from surgery also means moving away from a fix-once mentality toward a manage-forever model. In the halls of Congress, the lobbying efforts are already intensifying. On one side, you have the medical device and surgical industry fighting to maintain their relevance, and on the other, you have the pharmaceutical giants pushing for wider access and coverage. This is a crossroads. We are witnessing the disruption of a multi-billion-dollar surgical industry by a new, chemically driven paradigm. Whether this ultimately saves the healthcare system billions in long-term complications or creates a new financial burden that taxpayers will have to shoulder remains to be seen. The politics of this are going to get messy, and they are going to get personal for millions of Americans who are finally seeing a path to health that doesn't involve an operating table. So, what do you think about this? Do you believe these drugs are a miracle for public health, or are we just making ourselves permanently dependent on pharmaceutical giants? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. This is a story that is far from over, and it's one that will impact your insurance premiums, your hospital access, and your health for years to come. I'm staying on top of this, and I'll keep bringing you the facts as they emerge. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.